good. A 3-family is good. Anything where there's multi-tenants in there, because stuff happens. Recently, what came down the pipe was you guys don't have to pay rent. No, that's not a good thing. We had to call everybody real quick and let them know you do have to actually pay rent. That's how it works. So when things like that happen that are beyond your control, you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. That's why I think the 1.20 debt service is very, very important. And in the model that I'm sure Michael will share with you guys, it goes over, give us 5 or 6 data points. Is this a good fix and flip opportunity? Yes or no. It'll turn bright green or bright red. And please adhere to the spreadsheet so you don't get emotionally involved with the property. On the second tab, it'll show you, is it a good buy and hold? Again, bright green or bright red. It highlights the debt service component for you. And it also shows you if you're getting back at least 80% of the money from the fix and flip. Those are 2 very important things, because if you want to learn how to play the real estate game for free or as little as possible, it's a matter of putting it in and getting it back out the appropriate way. So I tried to build a model that I think works. It's one that I use personally. Michael's experienced it. So far, I've heard nothing but good feedback, thank God. And I'm sure if there was something wrong with it, he would tell me.
Just to add to what we're talking about with the deal here is, you were right. When you're talking about the debt service, what happens in case the tenant doesn't pay? And that's why I like Section 8, because the government always pays.
Yep.
And the nice thing about HUD is they're actually now paying anywhere from 10 to 15% above market.
Yes, above, absolutely.
And they're also giving what do they call it? Cost increases every year.
Yep.
So what I ended up doing is I actually spoke yesterday with the director of the Section 8 program in Macon and asked him how many outstanding vouchers were. And he said, a lot. He didn't even have a number. He just said a lot.
Yep.
And because I monitor this, I've actually seen interviews with other HUD directors where, given what's going on in our economy, they're having record numbers of people apply for HUD assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, that is one of the things that I like. That a problem that I solved in going into the single family home rental is you want guaranteed money. The problem with renting to somebody is you've got to qualify them. You've got to make sure that they make the payment every month. You don't know what life changes are going to happen. Now, when you go down the road of government guaranteed money, if the government stops making the payment, we've got bigger problems as a country.
Correct. 100%.
And let me ask you, and then, the thing about, especially with HUD, is what congressman or senator is going to screw with that program? Because they're going to get voted out the next election. They're never going to touch that program. They're only going to pour money into it for forever.
Right. Absolutely. It's a great way to go about it. And I wanted to pull up the actual model so I can get you the debt service in your deal. Your deal is at 1.87, which is why I felt very, very comfortable with the debt service there, because then, you can afford to lose 2 tenants and still be okay. Right. God forbid it ever happens, but having the debt service that high, that's a great pick, the one that you picked there.
Yeah.
And then to your point also, Section 8 is a great way to do it. There's also different versions of Section 8 that we spoke about before. You'd have Section 8 where people need the actual assistant. Then there's a different type of, they call it HUD VASH, Victor, Apple, Samantha, Henry, I believe it's called. And that is actually for veterans, people that came back and they're out of the system now. And a veteran that's using that type of program is just a little bit of a different person, in my opinion, but it's the same kind of government guaranteed funding. I want 1,000 doors in New Jersey because I want to make it exclusively veterans housing. I just feel like it's a need, and these people went out there and they're giving us the opportunity to stay here and get rich by protecting us. And if I can give back in any way, that's one of the things that I want to do. It's a similar program, pays above market, just like you said. The tenant's just a little bit different, so if something happens with a veteran, they might just fix it for you as opposed to, hey, let me call the city because my light bulb's not working. It's just different angles on the same exact philosophy that Michael has. But I do believe in the government funded programs because it is guaranteed. If you're going to get paid no matter what, just make sure the property is maintained and do the right thing, and then it'll work out for you. Fantastic. No issues about, hey, I lost my job, I have to pay your rent later. Okay, doesn't work like that on the HUD programs.
For me, when it comes to single family homes, I compare the strategy of buying and renting a single family home to a multifamily property. Let's just say you've got a 30-unit multifamily property. Well, let's analyze this. What happens if one person stops paying the rent in each one of those scenarios? With a single family home, now you as the owner are responsible for 100% of that mortgage. With a multifamily, 30 units, one person quits paying